the whole reason I went, was because I got to see Anthony LaBianca, who was on the podcast, the most recent guest on the podcast. He did a one-man show, and it was an interactive show too, and he was fantastic, of course. And so I wanted to see it and support him, but it was in Lynchburg, Virginia, which is 5 hours from where I am in Myrtle Beach, and so I was like, well, let's just make this a long weekend at Pete's, and I think I was there 5 days, so it was a really long weekend. Some people would call that a week, uh, but it was really great. And I'm doing this out of order that I wanted to, but who cares? Like, this is what it is. I feel like I wrote down stuff for this, no? I thought I did, guys. Oh, I did. Here we go. Hello. So it was, one-man plays could be intimidating, I think, because it's so much of just one person, It's like a podcast, but you can't shut it off if you don't like it. I think they have this stigmatism of like, oh, it's so emotional and it's all about this one person, and it's all about their perspective and stuff, and that's what the podcast is. And always take one person's perspective as a grain of salt, with a grain of salt, not as a grain of salt. But this one was so good, and I assume most of them actually are good, but maybe just at first there was the cynicism because we didn't figure out what the medium was yet. So like one-man shows were like, this guy I kind of know invited me to his one-man show, but now it's probably more, and he didn't write it, but it was like a famous one-man show thing, and it's about this guy that makes a list of 1,000 things that what's the verbiage exactly? He has a suicidal mother, and so he started the list to make like 1,000 reasons to not die or to not kill yourself. And if you guys know, the True Modern Talkers know that if you listen to his episode, that his dad committed suicide. So it was extra, I'm sure, personal to him, and I would love to get him back on the podcast and talk about that whole thing. I think he could have his own podcast and it would be phenomenal. He doesn't need me, but it just seems like anytime you talk to him, it's just like a beautiful revelation and so informative and full of energy and life. But it was funny. I know it doesn't sound funny, but it was funny and touching. And so at the beginning or before the play starts, he went around and gave people numbers, and under the numbers it said something. So mine was spaghetti bolognese, and I said it wrong there and during the play. I don't know how to say it. I looked it up and it doesn't click with me. I don't know why. I'm Italian, I should know, but bolognese. It's just bolognese, but I want to put that G in there. I don't know why. I don't say lasagna, but is what I was trying to say, or not what I was trying to say, but what lasagna should be with the G or whatever. But real G's move in silence like lasagna. And I cried, of course. I cried 4 times because it was beautiful. So the pieces of paper that you got with the number on it, he says the number, and then you say what's on your little piece of paper. So one of the reasons for living is spaghetti bolognese. And so I got to say that, and I stole the show. Everyone said so. No, I'm just kidding, obviously. We were in the front row because we were there first, because you know how we roll. And I don't know what that even means, but I do like to be early to stuff if I can. Um, so we were in the front row, and so I could notice like everything about him. Um, like I'm close to him, so I could notice more like little details. And I didn't know for sure or not, but I just pretended that every little thing was on purpose, and that kind of made it more special and beautiful. So the first thing I noticed, I think, was he had a green turtleneck on, and there was a white piece of fuzz like right on his sternum. I don't know if right here. Um, and my instinct was to like reach out and grab it or something, which I never would have actually done. But if this was like if we were just friends hanging out, I'd be like, hey, do you mind if I just grab this for you? But I pretended that it was there on purpose, and it like had a purpose, and it was part of the character. um, and then he he had jeans on, and they were one was cuffed up twice, meaning like it was folded in twice, and one was only folded up once. And that, in real life, I would say, oh, that's a mistake. It fell when the one cuff fell when he was running up the stairs or something. And but this is like, well, is that part of the character? And maybe it was. And there's something else that a little thing that I noticed was um, he had really long nails. I don't know if that was because he was busy memorizing an hour-long one-man play with a stupid amount of numbers in it, because he would do his lines not regular, like he'd do lines, and then it'd be after the line it would be like 276, and then someone would say their thing, and you have to say the right number because the person doesn't know it's their number unless it's the right number at the right time. So it was an incredible feat. I don't know how long he worked on it. I know he's like extra ordinary about memorizing things, but still, that's like a Herculean effort, and a really incredible. So I wanted to